FC Wonderkid, episode 34. Here with my guy, Breton. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Doing awesome. We got the draw soon for the UEFA Champions League and all the other leagues. I mean, on top of that, there's just so much to talk about. So, where do you want to begin?
We got to start with European competitions. The
Yeah,
draw's tomorrow, but a lot happened, and we
yeah,
want to just have an overall landscape of what was the European competition. So
sure.
I'd like to start by mentioning we got two Lisbon teams in the Champions League. Okay, I gotta say it. Okay, but unfortunately, Porto didn't go through.
Yeah,
Big ups to Atletico. They played a really good game. Really sad that AC Milan is in no European competitions. Okay,
it's
like
tough.
that is like not even Europa League. But Porto got Europa League, so I gotta say that's good. So a lot happened, man. A lot happened in the
Uh,
European competition.
yeah, a lot happened, and just the fact that Dortmund, Porto, Red Bull Leipzig, Barcelona, all off to the Europa League. That's actually going to be a lot of fun. Those knockout
Mhm.
rounds in the Europa League are going to be a lot of fun. But I'm going to ask you just flat out, okay, based
Mm.
on top two from each group moving into the knockout rounds. We obviously don't know the draw yet, but gun to head, if you had to pick a winner right now of the UEFA Champions League, who's it going to be?
I'll be honest with you. I think Guardiola is gonna have a lot of pressure to win the Champions League this season, in
Okay.
my opinion, because I think Man City are gonna get a striker January. I
Yeah,
think or Harry Kane or Haaland or Vlahovic. Something's happening with Man City this in the next transfer window.
for sure.
So I think Man City will be definitely top three contender.
Hmm.
But personally, I think Bayern. Look, all this Kimmich thing.
Yes.
Look, I saw the match against Dortmund. And look, it wasn't the same. Okay, like having Kimmich
Hmm.
Bayern looks different with him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say the top contenders in my view is Man City, Liverpool, Bayern. Man, I gotta say PSG too, because Messi in the Champions League is looking different, okay, than in Liga. I
Uh,
understand he's got more pressure, he's got more to prove.
mhm.
And now every Barcelona fan is gonna be rooting for PSG for sure now
Yeah.
that Messi's there. So I think those are the top teams, but I
Yeah.
can't decide on a winner. But I think Man City with a striker
Yeah.
is no doubt the favorite.
Yeah. That's a good call, but I'm going to say it right out, and this might be bold. But Bayern Munich will not win it if they do not have Joshua Kimmich. So
Mhm.
I agree with you. I don't know if you were going to go
Mhm.
that far, but you said it would be difficult, and I'm going to
Yeah.
say it. If Joshua Kimmich does not come back from these lung complications that he's having, and we obviously hope that he does, um, there's no way they're going to win it. And I think you may have missed one name in there, um, Real Madrid,
Mm.
right? Real Madrid looks pretty
Mm.
dang good too. But you're right. It's going to come down to what restocking of the weapons a lot of these teams can do in January, and whether or not they have an impact. But a team like Bayern Munich, a team like Liverpool, a team like Real Madrid, they have to be like mega healthy if they're going to make a run through it. So obviously
Mhm.
there's enough quality here out of all the teams mentioned. But I like your PSG shout because
Mhm.
they're at the beginning stages of meshing, right?
Mhm.
They're really at the beginning stages of coming together. I don't think it all. I know a lot of people want to talk about Messi, being not Messi anymore, but come on, he's still Messi. And if they mesh and they can build a chemistry that is clearly not there just yet, but getting more like solidified,
Mhm.
PSG is going to be very, very dangerous. The one thing is, I'm going to say it right now. Long story short, I don't think Manchester City's winning this. Manchester City will not win the Champions League. And I don't know if I want to put a bet on it because I'm too much of a coward to. But there's just something about it right now that it is for me going to take an addition heading
Mhm.
into the new year like we expect. Um, and I don't
Same.
know. Yeah,
I think the Mbappe and Messi link up is starting to heat up.
yeah,
Okay, I think that's absolute facts, and that
yeah.
is crucial because I won't say Neymar is the third player right now, but he is.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
gonna put Messi, Mbappe, Neymar now. Okay,
Mhm.
that is the ranking. Okay, in my opinion. But interesting enough too, if Real Madrid had Kylian Mbappe in that
Yeah.
team this season, I would agree. Maybe they would be the favorites if you answered me, if in that paradox, in that reality. So
Sure.
there you go. But
Yeah.
what
Well,
happened in this Champions League that really wanted for you to mention here in the podcast? What happened?
yeah, well, I really wanted to focus on some of those breakout players of the group
Mm,
stage. And one of them, my first one, just looking back at who we didn't know last year during the Champions League, mainly because the team wasn't in it.
mm,
But one of the best young players that have come out of this group stage, and I am not as qualified to talk about this person as you are, but I really, really have enjoyed watching Gonzalo Inacio play. Solid reading of the game, distribution. You can go on and on, but really like young player wise, outside of who we're going to talk about next, Ajax. Um,
mm-hmm,
it was like Gonzalo Inacio and like Morato were the only
mm-hmm,
two that I can think of that were not necessarily seen as really good young players that
mm-hmm,
everybody knew, maybe, right?
mm-hmm.
Heading into the group stages, but coming out of it, most people know who Gonzalo Inacio is and who Morato is. So I was really impressed with them. And then obviously, if you go over to Ajax, I mean, come on. Anthony's group stage, Urian Timbers group stage. They're one of the more electrifying teams to watch in the knockout stage, and yet neither you or I think that they're going to go all the way. But I really wanted to talk about those. I mean, if you had to pick kind of a breakout player, it doesn't have to be a young buck, but if you had to pick a breakout player, who would you pick at these group stages?
Well, Haller, I would say Haller really justified why he had to be registered in the European competition.
Yeah,
So I like that. I like that mention.
sure.
Gonçalo Inácio too.
Yeah.
Gonçalo Inácio for me was the big up, the unknown to known, because
Mhm.
who listens to this podcast? I gotta say it. We have been saying Gonçalo Inácio for a long time here, so it was just we have it justified. But another player I wanted to mention here in the pod because of his last game was Angel Gomez. His first goal and his first assist coming as a substitute. Okay, so I think that was a big start to the Champions League campaign for him too.
Yeah.
So and Karim Adeyemi. Okay,
Oh,
there's a player that his stock went up, up, up. I won't say like Haaland, okay, but Karim Adeyemi was the Red Bull Salzburg guy that everybody was like, okay, watch out for him, okay.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk more about this in the transfers, but
Right.
a lot is up with Karim Adeyemi now. So
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to watch. I think there's just one other name that we got to watch. Even though Lille is not doing so hot in Liga 1. I mean, and nobody necessarily expected them to replicate their sparkling form from last year. But for them to come into the Champions League, manage 2 high-level competitions in a relatively decent, tough group. Lille actually tops the group, and that's none other because of none other than a certain Canadian, Brooklyn-born Canadian, but a Canadian nevertheless, Jonathan David. And they're not a team. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are excited to draw them in the next round because they seem a little depleted. They don't have everybody kind of firing on all cylinders. But you got to give Jonathan David his just dessert, right? He's been phenomenal. But I'll tell you what, the Europa League, from a Wonderkid perspective, the Europa League has given us Rayan Cherki. Thought he had a breakout performance. He was given the opportunity for Lyon. 2 goals, I think, and an assist in the group stages. I mean, it's nothing like, Sebastian Haller's statistics, but still pretty dang good. Obviously, Florian Wirtz, if I have to say anything. I mean, Florian Wirtz just continues to be, the rock star, whether it's in European competition or in the Bundesliga. But I think another shout out from that Bayer Leverkusen team that could actually have a chance to win this thing, although the teams coming from the Champions League is going to be tough. We got to also say Jeremy Frimpong, right? I mean, he's been really deadly for them down the wing. He's been enjoyable to watch, and it makes Leverkusen a pretty tough team to beat when it comes down to this. And then the only other one I got to throw out there, a little more Portuguese propaganda, Jota for Celtic. Jota for Celtic, I think, not just in, everyone can look at the SPFL and they can say, oh, but look at the competition. Well, in the Europa League, he's done the same thing. 2 goals, 2 assists, been consistently dangerous. He's formed a really nice partnership with Furuhashi, Abada, with Turnbull, and Celtic looks like they're going to lock him down sooner rather than later, right? For like 8 million euros. So yeah,
what a bargain to get Jota for 8 million. That's for sure. Then Artur Cabral too. That would be a good shout too in the Europa League with 28 games, 27 goals, and 8 assists.
Oh my!
One of the most underrated players in Europe, in my opinion, right now. Okay, striker at Basilea, guys. Watch out, okay. But yeah, overall, I'm seeing the Europa League, and I'm really questioning who's gonna win it, man. And Barcelona's there. Like Barcelona in the Europa League, if they catch a Dortmund, like it's gonna be a madness of a matchup. So any like you did in the Champions League, do you have any prediction for the Europa League? Any team?
Yeah, I gotta think that coming into it from a depth perspective, Red Bull Leipzig looked really good in the first game in charge. What were you just about to say that?
I was gonna say Nkunku is like the best player in Europa League if it goes right.
Yeah, you know? I honestly believe if they can stay healthy and they can start playing. I mean, it was really sad to me seeing how well they played the game after. Essentially Jesse Marsch was sacked, and another American-born manager. He's 36 as well, I think, or 35. Domenico Tedesco takes over. I don't know if he had his handprint on this game, but it was tough to see how well they played after that. And frankly, if they play that well in the knockout rounds, they're going to be really tough to beat. And if you can get Emil Forsberg, if you can get some other parts really kind of coming together, Red Bull Leipzig is probably one of my favorites. And then the other favorite I'm going to throw out there, and tell me if I'm wrong, from a depth perspective and a team perspective, I really think Porto can do it. You think it's possible?
It's possible. I agree. I think it's possible. And I tell you something. The team that knockouts Porto will have a tough time in the two fixtures, man. Because Porto is the type of team you never want to face in the second leg. Sure. Because either they'll want to win it too much, or either they'll go defensive too much. Okay. So I think that's a good shout too. But I still feel like Porto is missing something. You know?
Yeah.
I know Porto has Luis Diaz. Mm-hmm. But Nkunku for me at Leipzig is being next level. Yeah. Then Haaland at Dortmund is something next level too. And then you got, look, I'm not going to overrate Xavi as a coach, but I think Barcelona can shock a lot of people maybe in the Europa League. Yeah. So I'm hopeful.
First, they have to shock Osasuna, and they didn't do that. So,
but Nico scored, and that was a good. Yeah. That was a good. It was let's say something that's gonna happen a lot in the future. A Gavi assist and a Nico goal. Look, I'm. Look, they beat 3-1 Villarreal a couple of weeks ago.
Too, so yeah. And there's you're not gonna find any Barcelona hate here. I think it's more realism on my end of things that Xavi is not going, and I think he knows this. They're not going to transform overnight. Right. And they've got so much talent, but they've got the mentality. And what was it? Was it Bayern that was trolling them, essentially just saying that they couldn't match their intensity, couldn't match their off the ball movement, couldn't match their, it's true.
But
it is
fact.
It is
a fact.
It is
fact that Barcelona was completely overmatched in that Bayern, man. But we will talk more in the transfers more forward of what Barcelona will solve, okay? For these issues.
Yeah, and before we move on from this topic, I do have to say, Conference League, I don't know. I liked these changes. I actually liked this 3-tiered system. Anything's better than the Super League, right? But I enjoyed this 3-tiered system, and even out of the Conference League, you know me, I'm always combing Scandinavia for possible signings. But we all got to look at Erling Haaland's bro, not really, but his friend Eric Botham. He had 4 goals, 4 assists for Bodo Glimt They're one of the more attractive teams to watch in the Conference League, a little more attractive than Tottenham right now. I'm so mean. I really shouldn't do that.
I was bold.
Yeah, but I think, Eric Botham is one that you're going to have to watch, because I have a feeling in January we're going to see a lot of clubs, whether it's the Bundesliga, Eredivisie, chasing him, and rightfully so. But what I wanted to pose to our listeners, I don't know what we want to give away. Maybe you and I can think about this, because we didn't talk about this beforehand. What I want people to do is register their predictions. Okay. Who will win the Champions League? Who will win the Europa League? And who will win the Conference League? And if one of our listeners gets it right, we're going to send them something. What do you think? You think we can do that?
I love that. I love that. That's kind of a giveaway, guys. So if you get the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League winners, we'll send out something to you guys. So put it in the comment section down below, okay? We'll put the video on favorites so we don't forget it, okay?
Yes.
I guarantee you guys that. So about the Conference League, I just end up saying I think Roma is going to win it all, okay? I think Mourinho is out here getting a competition that he needs, and he always likes to add one. So, and Tammy Abraham too, like, he looks different, okay?
He does look different.
Goals.
Yeah.
So I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So I just wanted to end up the Conference League and Tottenham too, like shambolic, man. Was it like Muda? What was Muda? Like what? Conte was like, this is not it. But interesting enough, since that loss, Tottenham hasn't had such a bad game. Like they beat Brentford. They're slowly looking better and better.
They are, but then COVID. And this is kind of a nice transition moving into general news. I mean, I know we were going to talk about maybe Joshua Kimmich. We already covered him, but we're almost 2 years into this pandemic, and we are still talking about these crazy COVID outbreaks. I know, because the Philadelphia Union lost their shot at MLS Cup because of 11 players being kept out due to COVID protocols. Okay. Tottenham is going to be forced to essentially forfeit the Stade Rennais game, because the European competitions have different COVID protocols than the Premier League. The Premier League was able to reschedule their match with, I believe it was Brighton, reschedule it on a different day. But they basically said with the European competition, because there's such a tight timetable, right, they're going to miss out on the next round and be kicked out of European competition, because they're likely going to have to forfeit. And it'll be a 3-0 win to Stade Rennais. Okay, so it's like one step forward, 2 steps back for Antonio Conte in that sense. And that's not really anything he can do, but there's been a COVID outbreak at Tottenham. It's just crazy that we're still talking about this crap.
I will keep on going, because like the solution, even with these new variants, but this is a football podcast, but it's true. It's affecting the game an awful lot. And Kimmich not getting the vaccine, then all of this happens. Like, look, free will, but look, it happened, unfortunately. So
moving on.
I wanted to start the general news I wanted to start with this Man United talk, because I saw some comments about Ralf Rangnick that I wanted to highlight and applaud, because he said that any player, I shouldn't be convincing players to come to Man United. And you know exactly who he's mentioning this indirectly. And it's Paul Pogba, man. If you don't want to stay, don't sign it. Okay. That's pretty much what Ralf Rangnick, in my opinion, is saying. Okay. Yeah. And it's true. If you want to play for Man United, like, Man United shouldn't try to convince players. Okay. They got the money. If you're a legend there, I rest assured you will stay there. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love to see how he's trying to bring back this winning culture and valuing up, chest up Man United. So
I think he understands a whole lot more. This has nothing to do with Paul Pogba. It has nothing to do with Anthony Martial, right? Who's also a want away from Manchester United right now. And frankly, it's like a year too late for that. Like, he should have left years ago. But anyway, Ralf Rangnick, I completely understand the approach to the comments. It has nothing to do with a player. It has everything to do with making sure that his group of players that wants to be there is on the same page, that there is a strict set of standards that has to be met, and that there needs to be a respect to the historic legend of Manchester United's history, right? And if you don't want to be there, then move on. They'll figure out the business terms. Maybe they'll get a little bit better at that in terms of actually making a profit on a transfer or something. But yeah, I completely agree with that approach. But with that said, we got to open up this question to everybody. I mean, long story short, it comes down to this. Fans of football, Paul Pogba, should he stay or should he go? I want to know what they think. I'm sure you do too.
No doubt, no doubt. But I'll be shocked if people are saying to stay, Breton. I'll be honest with you, because it's like a marriage that didn't work out. Paul Pogba, Man United. You know, that's how I see things. But I wanted to mention too with Man United, just finishing off, is Diogo Dalot. Diogo Dalot with Ralph, all of a sudden, he's a good player.
Yeah,
like loads of hate, but truth is, offensively and defensively, he is better than Aaron Wan-Bissaka in general. Okay, defensively, Bissaka is lethal, but offensively, big questions, and Ralph seems to have them too. So I just wanted to finish that up. And to the Ronaldo haters, look at that game against Norwich. I know penalty, but still, like, Ralph is showing that, yeah, you got to play Krish. You got to show passion. You got to show leadership. And yeah, with these players, you will.
No, I mean, hey, speaking of penalties, okay, and I'm not saying Pessi or Pinaldo or any of that crap here, okay, but man, this seems a little too coincidence. I don't want to spark like a worldwide conspiracy, because I'm sure it's always somewhere in the interwebs right now. But man, the refs in the Premier League really loved the big clubs this past week. Okay, Manchester City won over the weekend due to a pretty bizarre penalty call. Chelsea won with not one, but two Jorginho penalties, even though he had a pretty crappy game elsewise. Liverpool won thanks to a Salah penalty. Ronaldo knocked home the penalty to win a tight one over Norwich City. It's wow. That's a lot of penalties in one weekend. And again, I'm not reading too much into it, but it was certainly weird enough to have to mention on this. But one person we need to go back and talk about here, right? Since we're moving on from United, Liverpool, man. Liverpool. Okay. Mo Salah, I honestly don't know. I mean, hands down, he's the best player in the Premier League right now. Okay. And I know
it's a discussion between two players now.
Okay.
I think Mo Salah is the best player. Okay. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I got to just be devil advocates and say Bernard Silva.
Yeah. Okay. But Bernard Silva over the last few games, absolutely. Over the last few months, I should say, not few games.
Bernard Silva, he's looking different. I'm just being devil advocate. Okay. Bernard Silva is, look, something can be cooking up right there. And I know he gets into a stage every season and he has a peak and then he just goes down a bit. But look, I really feel like this season it might be different, because last season, like, I really feel like Bernard Silva thought he was going to go. Yeah. Okay. Last summer. And I think because a striker didn't come in, he didn't go. I think, look, okay. So I think he's got something to prove. I think, but Salah.
I'm with you, but I'm with you, and he has looked different. And actually, a lot of what he does doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, if you will, right? But speaking of a stat sheet, Mo Salah has 23 goal involvements in the Premier League. Okay, you know what the next highest goal involvement total is? 12. Emmanuel Denis from Watford has 12, 7 goals, or maybe 5 goals, 7 assists, or vice versa. And Mo Salah has 23 goal involvements in the Premier League. So either people are not putting enough respect on Mo Salah's name, or I guess we have to go out there and call the Premier League a farmers league now in order to justify Mo Salah's 23 goal involvements versus everybody else. And you can turn this on its head, right? You can say, well, if Mo Salah gets injured, Liverpool's screwed, right? But that difference, 23 goal involvements, is just unbelievable. He's also got 21 goals, 9 assists in 22 games this year. It's unreal.
That's insane. And he's playing well in the Champions League too. It's not just like Premier League. He's justifying too in the Champions League. But I think the big doubt with Liverpool fans is what's going to happen in January with the African nations. Yeah, that's true. It's Salah's going to be off. Sadio Mane is going to be off. No, Naby Keita. No, there's a lot of players that are going to be off. So if
that's a very good point.
Going to be gonna be tested, it's gonna be Liverpool in January when all these players are gone, and hopefully Salah comes back one piece.
Yeah. No,
Because
yeah.
he dips. Salah is another, just like Bernardo Silva, he dips too, Salah, and I hope he keeps the consistency. Because I'm gonna go bold. If Salah keeps the consistency that he has this season,
Yeah.
he's gonna win the Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
He's gonna win the Ballon d'Or because
Okay.
if he keeps up this consistency, nobody beats Liverpool in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Nobody. Okay. And in the Premier League, it'll be tough 1v1 because West Ham will win at home. Okay. But that's a very, very tough game.
Yeah.
Very tough. So I don't know. I can only see Man City or Chelsea beating Liverpool in a fair match, you know. You know what I mean, bro?
I do. And to harken back to what you said before about the best player in the Premier League right now conversation, there is a certain team that's on top and in the Premier League, and it's not Liverpool. It's Manchester City right now, and Bernardo Silva is a big reason why that is. So it's going to be. You're right. I didn't think forward. That African Nations Cup is going to be brutal.
It's gonna be hard for Klopp. Klopp is already panicking, man. He's already saying, "Oh, this shouldn't be in January." I think there's some comments about that. He was complaining about the fact that there's an international competition of this size in January. And I gotta mention too, Sterling scored his 100th goal in the Premier League. Okay, so big up to Sterling. Okay, bye bye, Man City.
Yeah.
We did say Arsenal a couple of podcasts ago, so that's my prediction. But I think he's gonna stay in England. I saw that Barcelona news. No way, man.
I don't know how that
Sterling's
works.
going to Barcelona, man.
Yeah.
Ferran Torres, yes. Sterling, no.
I mean, I still don't understand the whole. Anyway, let's not get into that because I think I got beat up in the comments section talking about Ferran Torres and making up quotes that Laporta had. That was a joke, by the way. But anyway, yeah, only 32 players in Premier League history have hit for a century mark of goals, and Raheem Sterling is one of them. So, and he's only what, 27?
Yes. That's it, 27. Yeah.
So he's still young, but I'll tell you what. You were talking about Jurgen Klopp kind of getting angry about the AFCON. Well, he gave us another nice soundbite the other day. Everybody was excited about Steven Gerrard's, return with Aston Villa to Anfield. Obviously, Liverpool were victorious, but Jurgen Klopp gave everybody the soundbite they wanted. The current boss of Liverpool came out and said, "I have no doubt," and this is not verbatim, but I have no doubt that Steven Gerrard will manage Liverpool someday soon. And
no, after Klopp, Stevie G.
You got to think that, right? And it sounds obviously intuitive, but I don't know. Steven Gerrard's poker face is pretty good with this one because it's so early stages with him at Villa. I mean, the guy just left Rangers. He just got to Birmingham. He's only been there a little bit, and yet everyone's already saying, "Oh, he's gonna whatever." But Klopp gave us all the soundbite we wanted, right?
I'll be honest with you. I think Stevie G's miles away ahead of Ollie. Okay, miles from me. Stevie G is such, there's a certain level with Stevie G. Okay, what I feel like he puts respect in that locker room. Okay, and even the training sessions, he's highly involved in them. A bit like Xavi too. I really feel like Stevie G is it's going to be one of the best next generation managers coming out there. I really do believe in that. Look, and I think Liverpool's going to be locking up with him because Klopp. Is Klopp really long-term for Liverpool? Look, Liverpool fans would obviously love that, okay? Because Klopp, come on, living legend for what he's done. But does Klopp want that?
Yeah,
that's the question. Like, I do think Klopp in the back of his mind is thinking to manage Germany.
Yeah,
I really think Jurgen Klopp one day is going to be a Germany manager, and Liverpool owners need to be thinking like, we need a solution. And yeah, I think you're right. You're right. Let's see how it goes though with Aston Villa.
Right.
Because if it goes horribly, man, then it's a big judgment call for Stevie G.
Yeah.
But
And notice how Frank Lampard's still sitting on the sideline trying to figure out his next move. So it will be very, very interesting to see how that works. But before we move out of the Premier League, I do have to bring this up because it hit all around the Twitter and all sorts of different places. But I believe you remember me talking about Demarai Gray and how that pickup was going to be okay. There's not a lot going right for Everton right now. There is not a lot. Okay, Marcel Brands is left. Rafa Benitez, I think 3/4 of the Everton population wants him gone, and the other 25% are really close to getting on board, and it might even be higher than that because I just made that stat up. But Demarai Gray, man, £1.5 million signed from Bayer Leverkusen. He's more than punched above his weight. He's provided Toffee fans with at least some silver lining this year, 5 goals. But that wasn't the stat that was kind of circulating. You might know where I'm going with this. For some reason, everyone has taken Demarai Gray and they have compared him with Jack Grealish. Okay. And Jack Grealish's stats this season, which I believe is 1 goal, 2 assists, and they paid £100 million plus for him at City. So kudos to Demarai Gray for doing what he's doing at the output and the cost that he had. That is like economic efficiency to the max. But I got to ask you, at what point, and I'm not there yet, but I got to ask you, at what point do you call Jack Grealish at Manchester City a flop?
At the point that Phil Foden is out, like looking so much better than him. Look, like he's looking so much better than him that I think that Foden was the player that went for 100 million. Okay, like I'll be honest with you, I think the Grealish move. That's what I'm saying. The fact that Bernard Silva is outshining Jack Grealish that came for 100 million. Like I'm not gonna say he's a flop already, but look, I agree with you. People should be putting questions on Jack Grealish because the price tag is big up, So and he leaves Aston Villa. It's the English tax. It's the English tax, clearly, in my opinion.
It is. And on top of the English tax, Pep Guardiola, I mean, it's not like most of his signings come in and are like rock stars right away, right? It takes some time to transition to Pep Guardiola football. Okay. So we got to understand that. But the fact that he moved, interleague, right? He moved from Birmingham to, from Aston Villa to Manchester City. You would think that at least like one portion of that transition was kind of yanked out and he was given like ground running. But one of the things that you and I talked about was with our worry with Grealish was the in and out, right? That kind of interchangeable part type of situation that Pep Guardiola has, right? Next man up type of thing, even if it's he doesn't care really about the price tag. Okay. I mean, this is coming from a guy that spent like, I don't know, $8 billion on defenders over the last few years. So Jack Grealish getting that run of play to where he can work through his kinks and figure things out, that's still a big question mark. But this next half of this season, obviously, will give us our answer. I mean, my general rule of thumb is give somebody a full season to show their worth before you call them a flop. But then again, nobody asks me for my opinion ever. So it's interesting.
You're being asked now.
It is true.
But that's a good point, man. And for our listeners, man, really have a perspective now and see Bernard Silva's showing himself, and Grealish, look, the pressure's on, and Grealish can play in the middle and he can play at wing, just like Bernard Silva too. He's an offensive midfielder, complete too.
Yeah.
So I like it that you're pointing out all that. So I like to say, in the news in general, okay, I like to go Wonderkid on this.
Sure.
There's 3 players, okay, under 21 that are with double figures. We have Vlahovic, Haaland, and Jonathan David, okay? All of them with double figures already, okay? This is huge, in my opinion, because all of them are 21 years old, man.
It is.
What a crazy stuff for these forwards.
Yeah.
I just had to mention
it's like a weekly heat check for them. I mean, Dusan Vlahovic is just absolutely ridiculous right now. And I think he had 2 more goals over the weekend. Fiorentina is punching way above their weight based on what the roster looks like. But like Vlahovic has 17 goals in 18 games this season. He's got 15 in Serie A. He even attracted the attention of Fabrizio Romano, tweeting out the fact that he's got like 32 Serie A goals in all of 2021. He's just priming himself for a massive move in January. And it's funny, the media still wants to kind of go out there and say that the 70 million price tag is like exorbitant. It's too much. It's not. It's not. I mean, I can't guarantee. I'm in the investment business in my day job, and you can't guarantee a future return in anything, right? Except maybe Tesla. Kind of a joke, but not really. You can't really guarantee a return. But man, if I could throw a guarantee on Dusan Vlahovic, making whatever big club snaps him up happy, and I mean very happy, I would do it in a heartbeat. It's a heat check. And I'd throw Karim Adeyemi in there as well, who's a couple years younger and obviously an easier league. But the amount of youngsters, right? U21s punching well above their weight right now in leagues is really, really cool. It's awesome to see.
It's awesome. And I had to mention, I wanted to mention too something that happened that I was quite shocked. That was the Jude Bellingham fine. Okay. Yeah. It was straight after we had the last podcast. And I was, I got to talk about this one in the next one. So 45K, you're putting a fine on the kid. So that's tough, man. Tough on him. Like, truth is, like, didn't that happen with the ref? Yeah. Didn't that happen with the ref, man? So, look, I think they were too tough on him, but is it too much money for Jude?
Yeah.
I think it is too, but still, man, like, I think they were tough.
They were. I suppose it could have been tougher based on what people were floating on what would happen to potentially happen to Jude Bellingham. But yeah, $45,000, that's like, I don't know. That's like lunch money for him. But yeah, I mean, that's a Wonderkid. So the next person I really want to bring up is not really a Wonderkid, but I got to bring him up because in my mind, he's kind of an eternal Wonderkid based on, what he's done for the Czech Republic over the years. But we've been talking about Erling Haaland a lot, right? We've been talking mainly about his agent and and we'll get to that in the transfers. Has been saying. We've also been talking a lot about Robert Lewandowski and him missing out on the Ballon d'Or. But I think it's time we got to put some respect on the name of Patrick Schick. Okay. He's been out a couple times this year for injuries, but are you ready for this? He had 2 goals today for Leverkusen, and today is Sunday. So you add it up, and Patrick Schick has, ready for this, 14 goals in 12 Bundesliga matches this season. 14 goals. Okay. So Lewandowski, Haaland, and I think we got to throw Patrick Schick up there.
He's a player that he's been with. It didn't go well with RB Leipzig, right?
No.
And since then, a lot of doubts aroused, and even for himself, man, it must have been tough. But absolutely, man, wonderful to see. It's funny how Leverkusen is maybe the team with the Wonderkids spicing up, and no one's noticing, man.
No.
Now with Patrick Schick, that is such a good stat. Wasn't there a crazy game with 7 goals?
Yeah.
Patrick Schick was like, I went bold. I don't care.
Yeah, that would have been against the crappiest team in the league, Grutter Fürth. Excuse me if I screwed that name up, but I believe he had 4 goals and an assist, Patrick Schick, in that game. But I'll tell you what, it's simple math, right? You got Florian Wirtz, you've got Jeremy Frimpong, you've got Moussa Diaby. You've just got some guys that are going to serve Patrick Schick, and if you can't find a way to put the ball in the net, then you get moved on.
For sure. That's a good mention, man. That's a good mention. And I forgot to mention too, like the Man United Ralph Ragnick debuts with Zidane Iqbal, Savage, and Teren Mengi. Like that was good to see too, man. In Zidane Iqbal, I think it was fantastic, man. Fantastic. There was a lot of attention with this youngster, as there should be. And yeah, It was good. I really had to mention that too.
Yeah, no, that's very well deserved. And Ralph Rangnick is certainly not shy about giving opportunities. And just wait to see Hannibal Mejbri after that. Just wait to see some of the other ones coming down the pike. But yeah, Charlie Savage, Zidane Iqbal. I think Zidane Iqbal, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think he is, there was a milestone. It was the first, say, I don't even know what you would call it. But
I know he Asian. It was
Pakistani mother, Iraqi father, or vice versa. And the first of that to do so. So very, very cool. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see more because we all talk about United's great academy. Just to see Shola Shoretire, Anthony Alanga. I mean, we want to see more of these guys as they go through this transition, but also as he reinstills that big mentality in this club.
Absolute fact. So, anything you want to mention on the news?
Wonderkids wise, no. I mean, we gotta just mention Red Bull Salzburg's Wonderkid coach, because Domenico Tedesco took over for a young coach at Red Bull Leipzig. He's only like 35 or 36. You've obviously got the normal names, right, when it comes to these young managers, but Matthias, I'm going to get his last name wrong, but Jessel, I think it might be. He is 33 years old, not really a good player in his day. In fact, nobody knows who the hell he is. Okay. He took over for Jesse Marsch at Red Bull Salzburg, and he now becomes the first coach in Red Bull Salzburg history and Austrian football history to put Red Bull Salzburg, or put a club, in the UEFA Champions League knockout rounds. And 33 years old. Okay. So respect.
Wonderkid coach, man. Wonderkid coach. So that it's interesting how Red Bull, it's with managers like Nagelsmann, and now with players too. It's funny. It's funny how it works. So
it really is.
Any news, guys, that we forgot to mention, please put down in the comment section below. We always like to have a good chat, so we'll answer your comments. So big up, big hype, transfers time.
Let's go.
Okay. This is it. This is the topic that everything gets to move. So you had a sneak peek in the pod saying Haaland this, Haaland that. So we gotta mention those comments by Mino Raiola, putting Man United in the mud by saying that Man City is the team in Manchester that wins titles, basically. So the top teams from Erling Haaland to go right now are Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and am I missing Chelsea?
Yeah.
Chelsea. Look, if I hit it, look, I said it before the Lukaku move, and I'll say it again because I don't care. Lukaku's still in, but I think they'll take the risk to get even another striker. And I think Chelsea are big favorites to get Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
I really believe.
That's
Real Madrid, no. Real Madrid for sure won't get Haaland, okay? Because he's got that Mamba mentality to be that number one guy. And if Mbappe is going to be the number one guy at Real Madrid, Haaland ain't having that. But Barcelona, it's a risk, okay? If Raiola's going too bold, maybe he'll go to Barcelona Haaland, but he'll need to get the funds. But we'll get more into that. But who do you think is getting Haaland?
Well, first off, we just have to bring up the mastery and of Mino Raiola with his words, right? He pauses on Barcelona, so the whole Twitter sphere starts saying he's going to Barcelona, and then you start thinking, how the hell are they going to do that? He makes the comment about United. He must be going to City. Also, his dad played for Manchester City, so he's got to go there. Yeah, well, guess what? He could also go to City because Roy Keane, Manchester United player, destroyed his dad's career, and his dad played for City. So let's pour some fuel on that fire. But really, we know what Raiola is trying to do. Stir the pot, whatever you hit the hornet's nest with a bat, right? Let out everybody and make sure that Haaland is on the tip of everybody's tongue. And it's working. It's working because it is going to be the transfer of the summer, or the summer of the winter if he goes then, or the summer if he goes then. But I don't know where he's going. But we know that there's only like 2 or 3 clubs that can do it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take the Manchester City route because it seems the most likely at this moment in time.
But look, if Barcelona sell, I think Sergio Dest is gonna go.
Yeah.
I said it in a few podcasts ago, and I received an awful lot of hate about it. But Frankie De Jong, look who's in the transfer window. Okay, all of a sudden now, Frankie De Jong, it's time to go. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's to get the funds, man.
It
I
is.
think it's to get the funds to get a player like Haaland.
It is. And
it
you
would make sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
It would make sense. Like if they sell, I see Dest,
Yeah.
Ter Stegen, Frankie De Jong, and Depay, and Luke De Jong. Okay, just get all of them off. Coutinho off too. That's so much money of salaries and transfers that they're gonna get. And Haaland, if you get all that gone and you get Haaland in, I think any Barcelona fan would love that. Honestly, in my opinion.
They probably also like a defense, but I guess if Haaland's scoring 5 goals a game in La Liga, you don't need it.
They would want a defense, but Ronald Araújo.
Of course.
I think he's more than the guy. And I'm seeing in the news. I gotta say it. You went forwards with it. Azpilicueta. If Azpilicueta goes to Barcelona, man, that is a master class deal because it would be for free, right?
Yeah,
it would be for free.
Yeah,
but what a deal.
But right there is my reason why I don't think Chelsea will go after Haaland. Because if Azpilicueta leaves, and if Rudiger does not resign, right, and heads to Bayern or heads somewhere else and becomes, the most expensive defender on the planet, paid on the planet, which we can a whole nother argument about whether or not that's viable. But if all that happens, right, Chelsea is going to need to spend on their defense, right? I mean, if there's one thing that they're not necessarily stacked at in their academy, beyond Chalobah, who's injured right now, it's that central defense. In fact, they got rid of actually 2 of their more promising young bucks in that sense. So that's why I don't think Haaland's heading to Chelsea because if Azpilicueta goes to Barcelona, and who's the other one I saw on the other end of thing? Edison Cavani, right, to Barcelona potentially. I mean, these are pretty solid. These are pretty solid leadership additions.
Like Cavani coming into, I was saying on the live, man, get that pie off.
Yeah.
That pie doesn't understand what is to be a striker for a Xavi team, okay? A Guardiola team. In my opinion, he just doesn't understand. And Cavani, I'll be honest with you, if Cavani had played against Bayern Munich, there was like 2 crosses in from Dembele that he would have got in, okay? And the pie wasn't there. He wasn't positioned right, and he just doesn't have that instinct of a striker, like I said, of Guardiola or Xavi.
Yeah.
That is a very good mention. And Ferran Torres too.
Yeah.
Ferran Torres and Azpilicueta coming would be a fantastic window for Barcelona. And I think it's possible. I really think it's possible because Laporta went to Twitter and he guaranteed Barcelona fans the players are coming in.
Yeah.
He's already guaranteeing with no sales whatsoever, Laporta. He's saying people are going to come in. So I really believe in it, man. I really believe that Raiola and Laporta, they're friends. Raiola and Laporta, they're friends, man. And I think Barcelona is one of the 3 teams in pole position to get Haaland. But the big question here is, Man City is a guarantee, but Barcelona is kind of a bold, let's say, investment for him to go there because he goes up with the team.
Yeah.
So I understand your way of thinking too.
Yeah, and I'm not ready to rule out Real Madrid with Haaland. I understand what you're saying with the GOAT mentality, or got to be the biggest personality in the room. But I think
100%, bro. Because even like Benzema, even if Benzema is gone, who's lining up to go to Real Madrid? Lewandowski. So I really, and Mbappe too. I think it would be so awkward, man. If Mbappe and Haaland are like both fighting to win the Ballon d'Or and on the same team, like that just loses all the hype. And 2, people want hype. Barcelona needs hype. And what's a better way of gaining hype than having the 2 future Ballon d'Or leaders, okay, Haaland and Mbappe, right now, okay, they're the favorites in both teams as rivals. I think that's what La Liga would be helping out in the backstage saying,
of course,
come on, Barcelona.
Messi Ronaldo 2.0.
kind of. Yes.
I'm with you. I mean, obviously different players, but
right now, but kind of.
yeah. No, I mean, it is going to be January is going to be interesting, and I think we're going to find a lot out. But do you think the Haaland moves waits until the summer?
I think because in the summer it's for 60 million. Okay, because of the contract release. But
So
I think he might leave straight in January because he came to Dortmund in January, didn't he? From Red Bull Salzburg.
yeah,
And I mind to say, I think the replacement is already accepted to go to Dortmund, and that's
mhm.
Karim Adeyemi.
I
I
know.
think Karim Adeyemi has said to himself, I'm going to be the guy, the next guy. Haaland's going to go, and I'm going to be going up, developing and scoring mad goals, okay? And good for him. Good
Yeah.
for him. If he really refused Barcelona, Karim Adeyemi,
Mhm.
my guy, you know what you're going to be, an elite player. Because that's an elite decision making of his career. Going to
Yeah.
Dortmund instead of Barcelona.
Or instead of Bayern, frankly. You know, yeah. But you know, that it hasn't been done yet. I've heard what personal terms are agreed and all that fun stuff, but they're still about 5 million away from what from what Salzburg wants. But yeah, Salzburg wants like 40 million euros. I think they'll get it in some way, shape, or form. And I think Adeyemi will be a Dortmund player, which will be interesting. They're going to lose a lot of size then, so that'll be kind of.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what you're going
to
do.
Adeyemi. They have two, not similar, but physically, I get you, Bretton. I get you. Hype up Bradley Fink, man. Hype up Bradley Fink going up the ranks.
Yeah, I mean, you got a baby Haaland right down there in your own system. So bring up Fink, and you got to also think Mukoko is going to come back at some point, but Reina will come back hopefully from injury at some point. So they're going to have a nice little Wonderkid triangle.
Mukoko is similar to Adeyemi, so like I get you. That was a very good problem Euros there physically.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be a problem. And I wanted to mention too with the Mbappe just running, not to go too much out of it. Mbappe and Thierry. You saw that interview, right? Like that question saying, "Oh, why are you learning Spanish?" Why are you learning Spanish, Mbappe? And then Mbappe's out there like, oh, because I'm an international player, my image, blah, blah, blah. And Eri with the, with that laugh. That laugh already just confirming. So
of course,
I just more confirmation that Mbappe is going to come with you guys. Okay.
No, Mbappe just knows how general, geographical demographics work, right? Spanish is a growing language in our world. So he's just keeping up with the times. No, that's
go for Chinese. So if that's the case,
that's true. That is true. Go for Mandarin. But hey, I'll tell you what. It's Mbappe and Haaland just it is in the sense of Ronaldo and Messi moving. It's going to be kind of the next earth-shattering transfer window, and it's funny that it comes so close because with two really young players just trying to figure out their next step in their professional career. It's going to be exciting.
It's interesting. And two, I have to say, players that are going to leave big clubs and it's an opportunity because Newcastle is that team, okay?
Right.
Newcastle is hunting players that are cheap, but players that are undervalued, okay? Like Eden Hazard.
Yeah.
I saw some news about Eden Hazard going to Newcastle. Man, if that happens, okay, that changes everything.
Yeah.
Hazard in Newcastle is like, okay, whoa.
Right.
Like, wait a minute.
I mean, I think more realistically though, like an Anthony Martial could wind up going there if he doesn't head back. But we have to bring up here though. We have to bring up, okay? Newcastle is like bottom of the Premier League right now.
I agree.
If Eden Hazard comes in for 6 months or the second half of and then they wind up getting relegated, which right now, I mean, it's pretty close at the bottom. Like Burnley's terrible. There's a couple teams above them that are Watford's close, right? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man, because right now they don't look like a Premier League team, obviously.
No, but they need to get players in, man. And Hazard, I'm telling you, Hazard goes to Newcastle immediately. Okay, he's got something to prove. But because I think what happened to Hazard was he went to Real Madrid and his mind got comfortable. Okay, he got to that stage that he was. I got where I wanted in life. Okay, I've settled. I'm being this guy because
Yeah.
from the outside looking in, that's what it seems like, man. Okay,
Yeah.
he really doesn't like out of shape, coming back to training camps, like all of that. You got to think, man. Is this guy gonna win the Champions League with Real Madrid? And to be that guy, Hazard, is he gonna be a guy, the catalyst to winning a champion? I don't even think he's gonna get into the Bale level at Real Madrid. Okay, because. But Bale is a Real Madrid legend, guys. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. I really think that Real Madrid have understood Hazard is not going to work out, and let's just get the money. Big salary.
If there's one place that's going to whip you into shape, whether you like it or not, it is the weather in Newcastle. So
Hazard is, that's true. Anyhow would be like, he'll be judged too for like, you're coaching Hazard now, man. This ain't Bournemouth anymore.
No, sir. No, sir. But I guess we'll get a little clarity on that. I mean, I actually feel for Anthony Martial in some respects. Feel like he should have been gone years ago. Really should have. He should have moved on, whether it was go the Memphis Depay route, go to Lyon, go back to Lyon, go elsewhere. But he's still only 26. And, his talent is pretty undeniable. And I think he was asked to do a lot of things with all this kind of crazy back and forth with United, and it was tough. Like he moved, didn't he? Like he was asked to like bulk up or something. He was asked to get bigger, so that he could play up top. And then that didn't work out. Why? Because a certain Cristiano Ronaldo was signed, and then like also Edison Cavani came in because it was like you're not working out here. And then he was asked to play on the wing again. I mean, the guy's been put through the ringer, and a lot of it is inconsistency. A lot of it is injuries. A lot of it is whatnot. But I just want the guy to get out of United. Don't even listen. Rangnick's right in what he says, but get out of United, find a place, and maybe he can do the Memphis Depay thing where he resurrects things and he just starts banging them in and becoming the electric player we've seen at times. Right.
I'll be honest with you. I think 100% that's what's gonna happen with Martial.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna put all my chips on Martial because Martial, he's had glimpses of brilliance.
Sure.
Goal against Liverpool on his debut, man. I was like, whoa, are we gonna see a Ballon d'Or type player here? Like Man United fans were going extremely bold after that happened with Martial after coming from Monaco, which was understandable at the time.
Yep.
But failed project, man. It didn't work out. And I have to agree with you. Wenger, then he's a number 9. Then he's like, he plays in behind the striker. Then he goes on the wing. No project, man. No intention in play and in the development too. Like, I have to agree with you. He came at the wrong time. He came at the wrong. And how would you refuse such a big offer, man? Man United went extremely bold just to get Martial, man.
Yeah,
that was like, oh.
Yeah, you'd spend your whole career wondering what if, right? What if United worked out? What if United worked out? Well, he did it. I mean, some of the things he couldn't control, some of the things he obviously could control. But I think he's overstayed himself and he's hurt his professional career doing so. And I think it's pretty apparent he's got to get the hell out of Dodge.
I got to mention this in the transfers too, because I saw some news about him. João Felix, man. I think it's over. I really think this is going to be the last season.
Wow.
I think this is it. This is it. And I'll be honest with you, Breton. It's time. It's time, man. If there's it's time. João Felix, go to the Prem, man. Go to the Prem. It's just destined, man. He'll look elite.
That's actually an amazing admission on your part, because we were incredibly rosy that we thought once he got healthy again, and but it is the same thing.
I'm gonna put my chips on him leaving. I'll be honest with you. I think it's not. I think it's over, but I think a lot needs to happen for it to change, and I think João Felix has his head out more than in.
Yeah,
I think the Simeone relationship with João Felix, a lot hasn't been said. Let's say. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, João Felix needs to go somewhere where the style suits him. The style is kind of not necessarily built around him, but that is very much he's a part of. Whereas Simeone's kind of like, you're either in it or you're not, right? And he's done what he can. Obviously, some very unfortunate injuries too. So yeah, I hope he winds up. The Prem though, you don't think the Prem will like break him?
It all depends like what's gonna happen with players like Bernard Silva and
Yeah.
even Salah, man, at Liverpool.
Okay.
If he doesn't renew his contract, because I know Salah must be demanding to be the most well paid player in the Prem, as he should. Okay, at 29, at the form he is. But is Liverpool gonna pay it? They should, but again, I really think João Felix is going to be one of the players in the market like next summer, and because Raiola is going to be getting all the attention,
Yeah.
with the league, Haaland, it's a battle of agents too at the sides. So look, Jorge Mendes will want to move his pieces, so I think João Felix.
Move his pieces.
Yeah, it's all a game with these guys, man.
It's transfer chess.
That's truth. Yeah, exactly. Look at Raiola. Raiola's already doing a plan for Haaland. Look, he should. Yes, he should. But yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, there's so much more, and obviously it's going to heat up. Like names out there: Jared Bowen, Rodrigo, Luka Jovic, Rudiger. We're going to get clarity, and we'll talk about more. But I think you're going to see the transfer topic stay in our podcast for a little while longer.
Yeah. Even Haidara to Man United too.
Yes,
that would be a wonderful transfer for Man United. I gotta say, that's Ralph Ragnick spicing up. Okay, you can clearly see stuff.
And if it's not Haidara, watch out, because he might actually go for Red Bull Leipzig's Tyler Adams. Okay,
but Jude Bellingham, imagine.
Oh,
imagine if Jude Bellingham goes to Man United. I'm just saying. Okay, better than Scott McTominay already at 18, man. No cap.
If United gets Bellingham, it might actually make me a United fan. I'm just saying, we've been talking about how they need that destroyer, that DM, or that guy that can play several roles in the midfield without having so much of a limitation, and Bellingham certainly suits that. So
if there's any transfers, guys, that we haven't mentioned, please put down below in the comment section below. And I know we have to end the pod with talking about something that happened in the US.
Yes. Well, I'm still a little I'll take the lead on this, but I gotta say congratulations to New York City FC on their first Major League Soccer title. And I know the going thing is what that viral TikTok thing, Bing Bong. They Bing Bong, right? They basically put this team has been in the league, I think 6 years now. 6 years? Yeah, 6 years. And if you don't know, New York City FC is owned by City Football Group. Okay, City Football Group, which owns Manchester City. It owns a bunch of different. But anyway, with New York City FC's win, okay, in penalty kicks against the Portland Timbers out in Portland, they become the fourth reigning title holder in all of City Football Group's portfolio. So you got Manchester City is the reigning title holder in England. You've got Melbourne City is the reigning title holder in Australia. You have Mumbai City, who is the reigning title holder in India. And now you got NYCFC. But I'll tell you what, it's a big market team owned by a massive football group, and one that I think is creating like this cool little friendly rivalry between Red Bull and City Football Group. It's like, Red Bull, what are you going to do next? But it's just a weird time to talk about these like football club portfolios that these massive conglomerates are putting together, right? But yeah,
I gotta say too, for like the Brazilian fans out there, o Thales Magno ganhou. Thales Magno had an impact for that New York City team.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he scored a goal against the Union, which I hate him for. But Thales Magno, he's one of the ones that you got to watch out for next year, because he is one of the ones that definitely needed a transition period heading in. I know we've gotten a lot of comments saying like a lot of Brazilian fans are either on he's overrated or he is, he is the guy that people says he is. But Thales Magno had a very, very good influence for New York City FC in the playoffs. And actually, I think scored a penalty yesterday to help them win. So, but here's a little funny story, because I love shedding light on our domestic league, because it's growing. And I'm telling you, in maybe 5-10 years time, Major League Soccer is going to be up there in like top 5, top 7 leagues. Okay. It's going to take its lumps. But if you think about the economic machine behind, what happens in the States, coupled with what is already starting to boil underneath the surface, which is becoming a selling league. Everybody here watches American football. Everyone here watches basketball. It's going to be so many years before we have people coming over from that. But there's so much room in our landscape, and there's so much money in football that Major League Soccer will find a way. Us money-grubbing Americans will find a way to make this league a good league. But right now,
baseball, right? No, or hockey. Sorry, hockey. Wasn't it like the style? I saw the U.S. man national team. Only the page on Instagram. He said like there was a survey done in the U.S.
Yeah,
and hockey has been surpassed.
Yeah,
by football. So I can't even imagine in 2026.
Yeah,
in 2026 after the World Cup,
and
after iconic Pulisic, maybe, man, it might baseball. Watch out. Football's coming, man.
Yeah, no, and listen,
football.
Listen to this. Listen to this. The last World Cup that was held in the United States, okay, and I know this will be USA, Mexico, Canada, was 1994, okay, and in 1994, nobody knew any American players at all, okay, and arguably worldwide, there are some known names, but there's a long way to go. We're a young footballing nation. But in 1994, right after that World Cup, 1996, Major League Soccer was started. Okay. So it was just this big boom, not of interest, not of eyeballs, right? Not of TV money or anything like that. But it started this kind of this process, painstaking in some respects, where it's become somewhat relevant over the years. Still has a very long way to go. But yes, why I'm confident of saying MLS is going to be one of the top 5 to 7 leagues in the world in the next 5 to 10 years is because, 2026 World Cup is going to be massive, massive, massive for North America in general. Not just us, but the Canadians, but the Mexicans. It is going to be absolutely huge. But I got to say, it's great. New York MLS is a different breed. Okay. But one thing that they're accepting right now, and one thing that they're getting hold of, is becoming a stepping stone league for really good young players, whether they're homegrowns like Tavon Gray and James Sands, who played really, really big parts for NYCFC yesterday in the MLS Cup final, or a Tyus Magno, who comes over here, gets more, European, I got a notification, more European kind of eyes on him, and then they sell him off. It's going to be that way for the next 5, 7, hopefully 10 years, as long as the clubs embrace it. So, for example, Ricardo Pepi, $13 million is like the baseline rate for him right now. Whereas a couple years ago, we were forced to sell, Pulisic nothing because he wasn't part of a youth academy, right? He wasn't part of an MLS club. Gio Reyna, New York City FC got nothing for Gio Reyna because he left before they even got in there. So it's just the starting process of that. And we are nowhere close. MLS is nowhere close to, the big Euro leagues. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying we are at the beginning of a really interesting economic time for young players. Man.
I understand the excitement with you, Bretson. Like it's really going up. It's going up, man. Not on a Tuesday, but every day. So guys, I have a big announcement before we end the podcast. Okay.
Yes.
We are going to finally have a merch release. Okay. Like the website, okay, is fcwonderkid.com. It's simple, okay? Mm-hmm. Go to fcwonderkid.com and sign up for you to get the early release on Saturday, the 18th, okay? We only have 30 pieces per product, okay? So we're only going to have 30 SLs of this hoodie, guys. So
yep.
if you got to get it, okay? It's limited stock, and
Yeah. So if you're looking for that perfect gift for your loved one, no, just kidding. If you want to support us in some way, we felt it was necessary beyond the content we create to actually create physical content. Yeah, please look at this stuff because it is cool. And I'm the old person in this whole project. And I think it's cool, which means it's either not cool or it's the coolest. No, it's
so you guys know it's fcwonderkid.com, guys, and get the early release before the 18th, okay? Because you will have an email sent to you with the code, okay? So you can get one of those 30 pieces ahead of everyone, because on Sunday it's going to be open to everyone, but you can have an early release if you sign up with your email to get it on Saturday. So I had to mention that on fcwonderkid.com, guys, the website. www.fcwonderkid.com, guys, okay? Get that early release, okay?
And only people that listen the whole way through are going to get this, right?
Hey, the TikTok gang, too.
Hey, that's true. The TikTok gang, yeah.
So there you go, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 34, guys, okay? A lot we talked about an awful lot, but if we missed out on anything, put down below in the comment section, and please like the video if you're listening on this on YouTube, man. It's a huge help, man. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, peace out.
See you next week.